And I really hope that Plaid step up to the mark and instill that pride in everybody. So Plaid have won. They've won. And there's nothing we can do about it. So I'm not going to be disheartened, disappointed, angry. There's no point in that. I'm going to remain positive. Now, what's the positives we can see here? Well, Reform have a chance to be a real opposition. Right? They get to learn how the Senate works and functions and operates. And I think that's really important that they have experience in that before coming into power. Now, bearing in mind, I wanted Reform to come in. I think that was our only option. But since Plaid now are forming a minority government, they won the election, then we need to think very differently. I am not going to go on a Plaid bashing. I'm not going to do it. I am going to pick apart their policies, what they do in the Senate. But when they do achieve something which is worth celebrating, then I'll also bring that to the forefront as well. So I want to say congratulations to Rhyn and the Plaid Party for getting in. It was a historic win. We do have to acknowledge that because Labour have been in and there's never ever been another party in power other than Labour. My only concern is that Plaid are worse than Labour, but only time will tell. Now, Plaid have to play the game because they have 5 years to prove that they are for the Welsh people. They have 5 years to improve Wales. And if they don't do that, the Welsh people will oust them. And that would be the end of Plaid. Labour have had long enough, and now I believe it's the end of Welsh Labour. We're not going to see them for at least 10 years even crawl back onto the main stage. But with Plaid, if they do not get this right, especially in the first year, then people will wake up and will not vote for them. So I think they have a hefty task ahead of them to win over the right side of the aisle in their favour. Now, bear in mind, 50% of Wales didn't vote. That, to me, tells me everything. People have had a gutful. They have no faith or confidence in the government and in the Senate anymore. So we have to see how this plays out. Matthew, what do you think?
Well, I think it's good that I think that idea of the generational vote for Labour, that seems to hasn't shown up.
Yeah.
So people haven't done that. I think that, that it got to a breaking point. It's just like, that's enough. That's enough. Granddad, my dad, great-granddad voted Labour. Right, enough. That idea is broken. Fantastic. And then the other thing is that I've seen comments saying in rejoicing, Wales rejected reform. Wales rejected the racist bigot. Blah 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 blah. Sure. It's just like that's not the case.
No.
Reform have gone from nothing to being serious, challengers and chasing Plaid in all of these constituencies, significantly, running them closely.
Yeah.
In just a few years, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so that is something to be celebrated. The vote swing, I think, is more for reform than it was for Plaid, because obviously Plaid were established.
Yeah.
Plaid have been around for how many decades?
Years. Yeah.
So Plaid would have given their left foot to be where reform is after 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
But they're not. But Reform have done that. It's to their credit, and Wales has certainly not rejected Reform in this election. That's logistical mental gymnastics to get to that. That language. Language is important, and there we go. So. Yeah.
Well, if you look at it, only 50% of the country came out to vote. So you can't speak for that 50%. We don't know if they would have voted for Plaid or Reform, right? So that 50% you have to take. So we're talking about half of Wales. And not even half of that 50% were voted for Plaid. So even though they took the majority of votes, they still don't account for even a quarter of the voice in Wales. Doesn't that tell you everything? So it wasn't a rejection of Reform. What I believe this was a grapple for identity. I think people really feel the lack of identity in Wales at the minute and have voted for Plaid to try and gain that identity, that pride in who we are as Welsh people again. And I really hope that Plaid step up to the mark and instill that pride in everybody. But their policies don't reflect that, because their policies favour everybody else other than Welsh people, don't it, Matt?
Yeah, priorities. We're going to see what their priorities are, and but we just need to just be positive about it and go, hey, well, you just have to trust that they say they're for Wales.
Yeah.
And we have different ideas on how to go about the best way of representing Wales.
That's it.
But there we go. So let's be positive.
We've got to be positive, and the Bible instructs us to pray for our leaders and to bless them. So that's what we do. We pray a blessing over Rhyn and the Plaid Party, and we will be praying for them, not for their demise. We pray that God will move upon them and direct them so that Wales sees a positive future. So don't look to the left, don't look to the right, look up Wales.